Spider-Man issue 1000 is due. At the pace that they produce these comic books, every couple of weeks we get a new issue. Around about summer of 2026, we should be opening a $10 Amazing Spider-Man comic book. And what can we expect from this comic book? I have an imagination. I can imagine that we got a issue on the cover of Spider-Man. He's upside down. He's reading a comic book. Behind him, there's 999 stacks of comic books that are out there. The comic book he's reading upside down is issue 999. I can see another comic book cover where it takes like 1,000 webs, 1,000 threads to create this web. Oh, Spider-Man 1000. They're going to go all over with the variant covers. But what's going to be inside that comic book? You see, Chillmonger here is anticipating that this comic book will be bland, sort of like the anniversary issues that we've been getting. So what I don't want to happen is have a story in there, which is about 20 pages, and that's kind of the meat of the story, followed by a 10-page story here. And we got creators that were good at Spider-Man, so we got him back to do this, and we got him to do that. And it's just sort of like, oh, it's kind of one of those anthology celebrations. We are not DC Comics, but the inside of these comic books. We've already accepted this is going to be a $10 book. There's going to be lots of pages, lots of variants. But the storyline, I would hate for them to repeat what Action Comics 1000 attempted to do, what Detective Comics attempted to do. They didn't just attempt, they succeeded, they did it. And they just kind of got creators from here, creators from there. Let's celebrate the character, yay. I want this to be the celebration. Look at Peter Parker. Month after month and problem after problem, we always have this character who's losing. Like, he gets the rough side of life. If we're celebrating Spider-Man, what about this being the comic book issue where things go right for him? Now, I'm asking for something bold, but that family that he's got, the child, return them. All this Mephisto stuff that got started with One More Day, undo it. Have Spider-Man get a win. And I want this $10 comic book to be one continual story. Let's not stop our comic book. Oh my God, there's more pages. Oh, here he is telling Miles Morales how he's Spider-Man. Oh no, here's 3 more pages where it's someone's birthday at the Avengers mansion and he's trying to look for the perfect gift. Oh, here he's just saving a random kid from a car. Can I be Spider-Man? You can be Spider-Man too. I don't want to see that because J. Michael Straczynski's name is on it, or Dan Slott. We don't need that. This has all got to be, maybe it's Zeb Wells, whoever's the writer at the time, 2 years from now. This has all got to be a storyline that celebrates that a long-term storyline that gets addressed. Now, we still got a lot of time and a lot of issues until we get there from the time I'm recording this. They need to, plan to, have a villain debut at 1000. Make it a collector's item too. Why not? You're really trying to make people spend $9.99 on a comic book? You better introduce the Giga-Spider. The Giga-Spider, issue 1000, it writes itself. Figure it out. Who is the Giga-Spider? And it can't be, he unmasked and it was Harry Osborn all along. It's really got to be a truly new character. Figure out a way to incorporate the Fantastic Four, which shouldn't be too hard. It's the New York City. But they should be mapping out what will happen in 1000 as of right now. And we're years from that. Knowing where it's going, because that's going to be a large-ass $10 comic book, and we need to have whichever artist is doing it have noticed that he's doing it probably 6 months in advance, that he's going to be the scribe, the artist of this comic book. $9.99 will come out. We might have to wait like 3 weeks to get the next one because anticipation's building up, and then boom. Issue 1000 of The Amazing Spider-Man. What a feat. The only comic book out of Marvel to reach 1000 comic books. Because there's so many. And oh wow, Spider-Man's winning. Oh my God, it opened up with Spider-Man talking to Mary Jane. Whoa, they have an opportunity to save their family. He gets to undo the marriage. Now also, there's going to be plot points that are going to happen during the Spider-Man run prior. Like whatever happened the issue before in 999, he'll solve that issue also. He's going to be resolving problems step by step, swinging all around the city. He'll touch all 5 boroughs, and Spider-Man's going to finally win. And we go, wow, this was the best comic ever. It's a new era for Spider-Man. He's got this villain, the Giga-Spider, who I don't even know what his powers are going to be. I just know Giga means 1000. Or Milla, that also means 1000. The Milla-Spider. There needs to be a villain popping up here representing 1000 somethings. That's just my opinion, though. That's just my suggestions, though. Supporting characters like Aunt May, J. Jonah Jameson should appear. It shouldn't be too difficult to figure out how to do that. But the adventure that he's going to be on does need to be one continual story that you can, if you didn't read 999, can pick up and go, okay, 1,000 here. You're going to get a lot of those customers. And you can get a lot of people to stick with the storyline if they enjoy what just happened with Peter. New life as a father. It doesn't have to be that he gets his family back and they undo that stuff. There could be another Gwen Stacy. Some deaths. That's a bad suggestion. What am I thinking? It doesn't have to be that he undoes that storyline specifically. Now he's a father with a family. They probably won't do that because the people in charge are still going to be the people in charge 2 years from now. And I don't know how this video will age, but I'm pretty sure Zabowski, Nick Lowe don't want it to happen. But figure out one classic story of Spider-Man that needs to be that he's losing that he can get right. Marrying Mary Jane just seems like the obvious thing to me. But if we can look towards Aunt May, or I don't know, maybe she gets her cancer officially in remission, and he finds a way to heal her completely, and that's what the Giga-Spider gives him. I really don't know. I don't know, but I am suggesting that they plan it out now. They need to know what's happening. The same way I expect that in pro wrestling right now, Triple H, you are in charge of booking the main event of WrestleMania 41. You know that The Rock wants in. The Rock knows what he's going to be doing on that night. You know what the main event is already, don't you? You know it's going to be Cody Rhodes and The Rock, don't you? Same way we can do that in wrestling, and we're going to just see how we get there. We can do the same in this comic book, and we can realize what is at stake. This $10 comic book, this cash cow that is going to sell out of every comic book store because of there's going to be a new character in it. And all the comic book shops are going to love to over-order $10 comic. Do you think they want to Do you think the comic book shops want to order a $10 comic book for just anything? No, they don't. They're worried because they're like, oh, if this doesn't sell, we're doomed. But if they know that issue 1000 of Spider-Man has the Giga-Spider in it, it's a celebration of a classic, a character who always sells well for them, they'll take that risk and they'll be like, yes, there's a $10 comic book on the shelves. That means I'm going to profit a lot out of this, more than I do for regular comics. It's going to attract a brand new audience. How you're going to market it is a different story. But there's going to be outlets who want to see this marketed and are actually interested in the 1000th issue of The Amazing Spider-Man. You might get more publicity than you think. It's an all-around win, and you got to maximize how far this is going to get. Marvel Studios probably has a role in this too. Kevin Feige can make appearances on couches and radio appearances. The 1000th issue of The Amazing Spider-Man is coming. I have my suggestions. A cool comic book cover is not gonna fit. You know what would have been a cool cover? If George Perez, hey guys, I'm dying 6 months. If you would have said, oh, yo, here, do the cover for issue 1000. We know it's coming and we'll sell it. You know, you're not going to be here, but you'll be here for this comic book cover. And it'll be cover A. Can you imagine if they did a tribute like that? Huh? Or if John Romita Sr. also got that opportunity. Hey, John Romita, come here. Or hey, Stan Lee. Maybe they did do this. He died in 2018 November. When he died, did they go, hey, Stan, come here. Listen, we're going to reach 1,000 issues any year now. We want you to write this story so that when the comic book comes out, it says written by Stan Lee. Imagine what a tribute that would have been. That he gets to write the first one, he gets to write the 1000th one also. You have some foresight, company. Don't just make this what we did with the last, I think it was the 50th issue that we just lived through. Let's plan.